So I'm Mary Nelson. I'm one of the industry co-leads for the Standard Scripts Working Group. So I'd be happy to share what's been going on within this working group since the last conference. There we go. So some of this it may be a reminder, but again, if there are any new people, we'll certainly set the stage here and explain the working group in a little detail. So the working group goal is to establish a platform for the collaborative development of program code. So it's kind of a shared reusable code library that we're working toward. And we also have a portion of the project where we are working on white papers that actually do provide some recommended displays and analyses for data that's common across studies and most demographics and safety type measures. And we are hoping to then, within this reusable code library, have some process and standard guidelines and hopefully make it easy to use. So our vision is to fill the gap of the kind of at the end. You start from trial design to data to analysis displays. And although there's been a lot of work towards standardization, at the early and middle stages, we are working to try to fill the gap of the tables, figures, and listings and create some standard recommendations. And we, as I already mentioned, part of this project is to build this repository where you can place standard validated scripts in which everybody can use. So instead of each company or each regulatory agency, academic institutions all having their own reusable code library, this is an avenue in which you can actually share code and have a common reusable code library. So our working group's been around from the beginning of this collaboration, and we really haven't had a lot of changes. We pretty much have had the same three focus areas: the script repository, the white papers for recommending particular analysis and displays, and we do have a project team to help with our communication efforts. And at the 2015 in March, at the last symposium, all we did is kind of tweak the project teams a little bit. So the project teams associated with the script repository have been restructured, but the goal and the initiative has stayed the same. So here's a list of the accomplishments to date. The script repository has been built. It did start in Google Code, but one of the things that did happen since the last conference is it's now in GitHub. We did have to move the location of this given that Google was no longer supporting the code aspect of their tools. We've had a number of scriptathons to build the scripts in the repository. The MIT license was chosen, process guidelines have been developed, qualification guidelines have been developed, and that one of the things that's happened since the last conference is a lot of the qualification guidelines have been streamlined. So there's a lot of active work in trying to improve some of these guidelines that have been in place for a while, but there's a lot of continuous improvement in these guidelines. And there is a user-friendly front end to try to show what has been developed in the script repository. Okay, we now have 4 white papers that have been finalized. So right hot off the press, we do have the fourth white paper just got finalized this month. It's kind of in the works right now, getting that posted in all the appropriate places. So that did just get finalized. So you'll see some announcements related to that white paper. So we're happy to have our 4th white paper done. We do have another white paper that's ready for public review. It's on thorough QT studies, and we are hoping to get comments due by the end of October. That one is also in the works and getting it in all the right places so that it can be viewed, and you should see announcements on that too. So hopefully we can get a lot of participation in the review of that white paper. And between now and the next symposium, we expect to see another couple white papers that would be out for public review. We have an adverse event white paper that's been out once, but we'll have a second draft out for public review probably within the next few months. And then a hepatotoxicity white paper should go out for review probably within the next few months as well. So one of the goals that we we've been working on between the last symposium and the next symposium is to create this full package for the very first white paper that was finalized back in 2013. It's the Central Tendency White Paper for Vital Signs, ECGs, and Laboratory Analyses. And that particular white paper will get updated to include ADAM specifications, and then working toward getting qualified code. So in the script repository right now, there is code out there for some of these displays, just not in the qualified status. So working toward getting qualified displays for all the displays in this particular white paper with an agreed upon structure, an agreed upon metadata. So really work toward having a complete package for the displays associated with this first white paper. And the project team that's responsible for working toward these scripts is they hosted what's called a box plot challenge. So a box plot is one of the displays that's very prevalent in this white paper. We do recommend box plots for visualizing vital sign, ECG, and lab data. And they have posted a box plot challenge to try to encourage participation in creating these scripts and improving the scripts and making it very efficient. And so that's a new effort that just started. So what our working group needs is, certainly we're interested in more project team members. For the white paper project team, we're looking for, any statistician who might be involved in safety analytics in particular, since we are looking toward white papers with data that's common across studies, which is pretty much a lot of safety. So if you or someone you know has a lot of experience with safety analytics, we certainly can use more team members on that project team, and we definitely need more people participating in creating the actual script. So we need programmers to participate in the scriptathons, even if you can't participate in a scriptathon, you can do work on your own and contribute scripts. So certainly that's encouraged, and we need more participation in that area. And so when there's a white paper that's out for review, we could definitely use the help for you to review it and recruit reviewers, including medical colleagues. We do want some medical input into these white papers. So if you can help recruit reviewers, that would be very helpful. And now that we have 4 final white papers, we encourage its use. There are a lot of great thinking in those white papers, and a lot of good thoughts, a lot of good recommendations, and certainly it's hard. If a company has standard code and standard analyses that they're used to doing, I know it is hard to change, but we do encourage movement in that direction. There's a lot of improved displays, a lot more visual displays, which the industry is moving toward anyway, and there are a lot of good ideas on how to do those visual displays for safety data. So we encourage that teams use the recommendations in the white paper. And you can even link to the white papers from your statistical analysis plans. You can say something like, we plan to analyze the data as recommended by these PhUSE white papers. So linking to the white papers from your analytical planning is something that we're hoping to achieve. And certainly keep your eyes open for existing scripts, even though we are focusing on scripts associated with the recommended displays in the white papers. It's really open for any script. So if you're aware of a program code that does a unique analysis and really doesn't have a place to put it, our script repository can be that place. And we always need help with advertising that this effort is going on. So how to participate, I won't go into too much detail, but as already mentioned, there's a place to click, join a working group now. Our particular working group, we have 4 different list box groups, one that's meant for the entire working group, one that's meant for the people who are participating in the white papers, and we have another one for those participating in the script repository. And we do have another one that's meant for people who want to participate in reviewing the white paper but not necessarily want to be part of this project or can't attend the meetings or can't help author a white paper. But if there's anybody who wants to just be notified when a white paper is ready for review, we have a special group code for that. And then we do try to keep our wiki pages up to date, so there's always notices there on how people can participate. Okay, I think I'm done. Moving on.